PreCalc, PreCalc, PreCalc. June the 1st edition. This could be our last video together, so hopefully it will be short, sweet, and even enjoyable. We are finishing up our review for the final. Recall that of these 50 problems, let me see how many I've put in here. 50 problems, yep, of this review, the orange-red review. There are going to be 25 like problems on the final. Alright, let's bring it home. I think we went up to 33 yesterday, so I'm sorry that was so long. This one has potential to be long, but hopefully not. So, I'm going to write down the time. So it is, so I don't go over. Alright. Have to go to 5:02. Alright, here we are with number 34. So if you have your red-orange packet, you can go ahead and open to that. And it is, or is it red-yellow? There were some sunset colors. And orange-yellow, maybe. Whatever. Let's go ahead and do this one. Write the first 6 terms of the arithmetic sequence with the given properties. A, that's supposed to be a sub 1. A sub 1 equals 2 and D equals 2. So you'll recall that if we're doing the first 6 terms, we start with the first term, and arithmetic, this is the difference. So we're going to add that to each term. So we get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. And that is selection A. The next one is where we have a symbol like this. It's called a summation notation, and we're asked to find the partial sum. And this is because it's not going to infinity. So anytime we stop short of infinity, we are calling it a partial sum. So we're stopping at the 180th term. So it means we put a 1 in, so we get 1 minus 5. I'll generate a few terms. Then we put a 2 in. Oops, that's not a comma because the summation here tells us to add. So we have, then I put in a 2. 2 minus 5 is minus 3. Then I get 3 minus 5. And I get 4 minus 5. Etc. So we're going to go like that. So if I add all those up, I will go all the way until n equals 180. So the very last term, so there's going to be a bunch of terms in between, but the last term will be 180 minus 5, or 175. Alright, so is this arithmetic? Are we adding one term to get the next? Yes, we are, and that term turns out to be a minus 1. So we can use, there's a formula for a partial sum of an arithmetic sequence, and it is the sum of n terms is n over 2, first term plus the last term. So we're doing 180 terms, so it's 180 divided by 2. The first term was minus 4, and the last term still peeking at us, 175. So when I add minus 4 plus 175, I get 171 times 180 divided by 2, which is 90. So I get 15,390. One of our selections, hopefully, it is selection D. And recall, in your test, your final will not have multiple choice. Alright. Write the first 4 terms of the geometric sequence with the given properties. So now we've advanced from arithmetic to geometric. So we want 4 terms. The first term, sorry, this is a sub 1. Is 5, and we get the next term not by adding but by multiplying the common ratio. 5 times 1/4 is 5/4 times 1/4 is 5/16 times 1/4 is 5/64. And write the first 4 terms of the geometric sequence. Write the first 4 terms. Okay, well those answers don't seem to respond to, I see the last term 5/64, but to answer that question, write the first 4 terms. This is the answer. Alright, some of these problems are a little messed up, but they're getting the job done, so, and they helped me. Right, find the 8th term of the geometric sequence whose second term and fourth term are 15 and 135. So we wanted the 8th term, so I'm going to go out to that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we know the second term is 15, and we know the fourth term is 135. So, what if we look at a series inside a series and switch this? So, instead of looking for the 8th term, if I start it here, what term is that? It's the 7th term. So the 7th term of my series inside a series is the same as their 8th term outside. So, we have a formula for the nth term of a given series, and here's what we know. We know that the nth term in a geometric series is a sub n equals a sub 1 r to the n minus 1. So we know the first term, a sub n equals 15 in my inside series, r I'm not sure of, to the, let's put in the information with the third term. So that was 135. So I can call this the third term. 135 equals 15 r to, this again is the third term inside of here. So 3 minus 1. So do you see how I gathered information about this term and fed it into the formula for my inside series in order to find r? So let's hope that works out. Divide 135 by 15, and that gives me a 9 equals r squared. So r must equal plus 3 or minus 3. So we have 2 results from that operation. So let's see which one it will be. So if r is 3, let's see if we can find, we're looking for this, which is our 7th term. So we want a sub 7 equals a sub 1 plus, which we know, or not, what, plus, times r to the n minus 1. So a sub 7 is what we're looking for. A sub 1 in my inside series is 15. R we now know is 3. We'll go with 3. And n minus 1 is going to be, we're looking for the 7th term, so 7 minus 1 is 6. So recall when you calculate that, you do 3 to the 6th first, then times 15. And I got 10,935, which is listed over here as the 8th term, which is the 8th term in this overall series. So we could have used -3 as well, and we used the positive, and it looked like all their answers were reflecting that. It is the correct answer. Alright, so review on series. Alright, I heard my oven ding, so I will be right with you. Read the next one. We're looking for the sum of an indicated term, and the term that they are indicating is, find the sum of the indicated terms. So they're going from 1 to 8. So go ahead and start that one. Alright. So, to find the sum, let's just write out a few of them, and we might, since it's only 8, we might write them all out and add them up, or I might stop short to remind us how to find the sum. And they already told us it's geometric. So when n is 1, we get 3 times 2 to the 0. 2 to the 0 is 1, so we get a 3. Then plus, when n is 2, we get 2 to the 2 minus 1. 2 to the 1 times 3 is 6. And the next one, n is 3, we get 2 to the 3 minus 1, which is 2 squared. 4 times 3 is 12. Alright, I can see that each time we are multiplying by 2. So the next one will be 24, and so on. Alright, so let's do that with the formula. The formula for the sum when you have an arithmetic sequence is a sub 1 times 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. So we're looking for the 8th term. So a sub 1, 3. 1 minus r we saw was 2. 2 to the 8th divided by 1 minus 2. Alright, let's work in here. 2 to the 8th is 256. 1 minus 250, so 2 to the 8th is 256. 1 minus 256 is negative 255 times a 3 outside divided by a 1 minus 2, which is a minus 1. So we end up with a positive 765. And looking over here, that is one of the possibilities. Checking it out, it is correct. Alright, one of these formulas you should write down on your card or memorize.